Congratulations to me, I finished the month. Hello and welcome back. Before we get into the video, I have a quick announcement, and it's that I made an Instagram account and I will link it in the description box down below. Some of you have asked to follow me on other social media platforms, and a lot of you have asked to see more of what I actually wear. So I made an Instagram account to post outfits and other content too. Fair warning, I'm new to Instagram and I have no idea what I'm doing, so bear with me any growing pains that I might have, but if you want to follow me on Instagram, that now exists, and let's get into the video. If you're familiar with my channel, you know that I spend a lot of time paring down my wardrobe, but the rest of my house is a different story. Lately, I've wanted to give my wardrobe a break though and focus on everything else. And so in the month of January, I've played the 30-day minimalism game. If you're not familiar with it, how it works is that on day 1 of the game, you get rid of 1 thing. On day 2, you get rid of 2 things, and you keep going throughout the 30 days, eventually getting rid of 30 items on day 30. Now, I decided to do this for the entire month of January, which has 31 days. And so for that month, I got rid of a total of 496 items, and that's what I want to share with you today. Just to give you a bit of context before we jump into the clips, my husband and I have KonMari'd our house about a year ago. We've always been fairly tidy people, but we've had a lot of stuff follow us around after college and grad school and moving a couple of times, and so it was really nice to systematically go through our entire house, and we got rid of a ton of stuff. But that decluttering session was a full year ago, and so it's felt like time to revisit it again. I just haven't felt like full KonMari'ing my house. And so when I heard about the minimalism game, that seemed perfect for what I wanted to accomplish, and so that's what I've done in January. On top of the basic framework, I laid a few ground rules down for myself. One is that actual garbage didn't count. So recycling that Starbucks cup that's been sitting on the kitchen countertop for days didn't count. Secondly, I personally excluded any clothing-related items from being a part of this game because I wanted to force myself to focus on the rest of my house. And finally, any of the items that I got rid of had to be mine or primarily mine, or in the case that it was something that my husband and I mutually owned, he had to agree to get rid of it as well. Now I'll share with you what I got rid of, and at the end I'll share my reflections in case you're interested in trying this yourself. It is day 1 of the minimalism challenge, and I am in our little storage room. You can't get to this room from inside our house. You have to walk out of our house and in the main door for this storage area. But this is where we keep our bikes and things like gardening equipment and tools and lawn care things. And then there's all of my husband's camping equipment that I am not responsible for. But what I am getting rid of today is that guy. Okay, I pulled it out. So this is a towel warmer. You plug it in, drop towels into it, turn it on, and then whenever you get out of the shower, you have nice toasty towels. This isn't something that I bought for myself. This is something that was given to a friend of mine, and she was getting rid of it, so I claimed it, but I think I've used it once. There's no real place for it to go inside my house, and it's been living out here in the storage unit for a couple of years, so this is the first thing to go. It's day 2, I'm back in the storage shed, so I need to get rid of 2 items. Today I'm going to get rid of this outdoor chair, which we used to use in an old apartment and we haven't had use out of it since, as well as this little outdoor table that is meant to go with it, but I will not drag them out right now. I'll drag them out over the weekend. It's day 3, so I'm getting rid of these 3 mugs. They used to hold succulents, but the succulents died, so I can now get rid of the mugs. It is day 4, and I am getting rid of these 4 phone cases. I really like these 3, but they are for the iPhone 5, and I lost my iPhone 5, so I can't even use them anymore. It is day 5, and I already have my trunk loaded up with the 5 items that I'm getting rid of. I have a lamp that's hard to see. It's not broken, it's just collapsible. I have a water hose that we no longer use in the back. This very tiny nightstand. a mailbox that came attached to our house originally, but we replaced it with a big new one in the ground. And then this is a tea set that belonged to my mom, and she tried to pawn it off on me, but I told her I didn't want it, and she said to send it back to her. I literally never opened it. It's just going back to the post office. That's day 5. It is January 6th, and today I am getting rid of this scratchy cat castle, this drawer pull thing that went to a convection oven that I sold on Craigslist and forgot to include this with, this weird meat masher that was actually a long story for how I inherited it, but I never use it, this cat-shaped candle that was a stocking stuffer from years ago, and these 2 tangled up lanyards from my junk drawer. No idea why I have them. It's day 7, and I am getting rid of 7 business cards that I kept in my nightstand for no good reason. It's day 8, so I am getting rid of 8 movie gift cards. We used to get these as stocking stuffers, but we go to a different theater, so I will take these to an AMC and give them to a large family. It's day 9, I'm getting rid of 9 pairs of underwear. Hello. This is a bag of stuff that we never got around to when we commaried our house last, and that is where I got my 10 items for today. It's mostly a bunch of old glasses, cases, and jewelry bags. Day 11 is more stuff from the bag of junk, including a Rubik's Cube and a Cirque du Soleil clown nose. It's day 12, and I am getting rid of more junk from the bag, including a couple of old watches, a glow-in-the-dark star, and do you guys remember these? I still have one. Day 13, time to get rid of some glassware. I'm getting rid of these 13 glasses and candle holders that I cleaned out and kept for no good reason, so now my cabinet looks like this. It's day 14, and I'm struggling a little bit today, so I tore through the house and pulled together stuff from a bunch of different places. I have a computer that I'll be donating, some empty shoe boxes, a hat, a toy my cat didn't play with, and a bunch of little odds and ends. It's day 15, and I am getting rid of 15 items from our guest bathroom, including a hand towel, floss we don't need, and a bunch of old shower hooks. It's day 16, so I'm getting rid of 16 things, including some more toiletries from a bathroom clear out that I did, a couple of planters, and some cat toys that my cat rejected. Hello again, it is day 17, and you are looking at my guest bedroom. And I know it doesn't look like there's a lot happening in this room, but this is really the junk drawer of the house. So underneath the bed, this is a crate that my husband and I put all of the sentimental items in that we came across when we were commariing our house about a year ago, and we never got around to actually getting rid of the items in that crate. And then in the closet, this is the real problem situation. We have a bunch of crafting supplies, gift wrapping notions. I'm not even sure what's in those boxes. All the hangers that used to hold the clothing that I no longer have, my violin from ages ago, a paper shredder, office supplies, and random other things, so there is definitely room for improvement. From the box of sentimental things, I found this box of cards and photos, and so for today I have 14 cards that I'm getting rid of, an old Metro card, this book from my husband's childhood that he doesn't remember, and wallpaper samples. It's day 18, and I'm getting rid of more cards and papers, an Easter decoration that lives in that canister, a Scissor Sisters CD, and a laptop wipe. It's day 19, I'm getting rid of more cards, my old camera, and its battery and charger. Day 20, ticket stubs, boarding passes, and an old CD. Day 21, a print, some architectural plans, more cards, and an old Metro card. I think I'm going to give the sentimental box a break now. All that's left are pictures that's going to take me a while to go through and get them all in photo albums, my old TI-83 Silver Edition, a couple of old phones that need to be wiped, and an external hard drive with a backup of an old laptop. It's day 22, and you are looking at our TV stand in the living room. I don't really like it, but we've had it since grad school and it's been really easy to ignore. It does have a lot of nice storage, but storage can hold a lot of junk. And so today, I'm getting rid of all of our DVDs. I pulled out all 21 DVDs we had, plus a CD that was also in that drawer, to give me 22 items for today. Day 23, I am getting rid of a portable speaker, 6 old driver's licenses, and 16 pins that we somehow miraculously managed to fit in this cup. It's day 24, and I am getting rid of 24 old credit cards, insurance cards, and reward cards. It's day 25, and I am starting in on the guest closet, beginning with whatever is in these boxes. I found a giant bedspread in one of these boxes, and so I put it in our normal linen box, but in order to make room for it, I had to decide to get rid of these items, so I'm getting rid of the sheet set, the shower curtain, and then the rest of my items for today are from the guest closet. We have a bunch of Halloween stuff, all of these buttons from articles of clothing, and I've never used a single button ever that's come with a piece of clothing. This door hanger that my husband got in Japan, this American flag, some drawer liner, a bunch of stuff. And so now all of our Halloween stuff and gift wrapping supplies and crafting supplies fit into these 2 boxes. It's day 26, and this is an easy one. From our office supplies, I am getting rid of these 26 items. It's day 27, and these are 2 boxes of things from my childhood that my mom sent me a few years ago. I haven't even opened these boxes, but I decided to give the guest room a break and get my items from here today. It's just full of Beanie Babies. And McDonald's Furbies. Oh my god. I've got a frog, a fox, this wolf husky thing, a cat, and this one. Remember this? The second box contained this terrifyingly realistic looking doll, and more McDonald's Furbies. This is more fun than I thought it would be. I never thought I would say this, but day 27 is all McDonald's Furbies and Beanie Babies. Day 28 is all the other stuff. There are actually 30 items in here, but I don't really care. And it looks like I buried a child because of that realistic looking doll. If anyone has tips on how to get rid of Beanie Babies, let me know. It's day 29, and we are back in my guest room closet. I'm going to do days 29, 30, and 31 all in one go because I'm getting rid of the same thing for each of those days. I am getting rid of a bunch of hangers that I no longer need because my wardrobe is a lot smaller now. So here we have 29 hangers, here we have 30 hangers, and here is a pile of 31 hangers. I also have an extra pile of 21 hangers that I added additionally to the discard pile because I just don't need them. And this is the giant mountain of stuff from the Minimalism Game that I haven't yet gotten out of my house. This is what I'm going to go through and sort and donate or recycle or otherwise find other homes for this weekend. I thought I would come back and show you the ending state of the guest room closet. You can actually see how that shelf has bowed over time from the weight of all the crap it used to hold, but it's fairly clear now. We still have some crafting supplies up here. I kept a few hangers just in case, and then this corner is something I'll have to come back and work on in the future. We still have office supplies, this bag of cords, that's my husband's responsibility, and then over here is this hanging IKEA shelf that holds pillows that we change out seasonally in our living room. I moved the mirror that was in here into a utility closet that holds our vacuum, so that freed up some space. And then over here we have a very lonely paper shredder. So it's not finished. I'm going to have to come back and give it some more attention in the future, but it is a very different closet from what I started with. So that is everything that I got rid of over the month of January, and I am really happy overall with the progress that using this method has helped me to achieve. In terms of my experience and my thoughts on the process, I have a lot of thoughts. First of all, I think it's a great way to declutter. I personally think that if you're just starting out, then KonMariing first has its advantages because you get to declutter your home by category and sort of systematically work through everything you own. But I think that the 30-day minimalism challenge can be a great way to maintain simplicity in your home once you've done something like the KonMari method first. That said, if you've struggled to get started with decluttering, if it's something that you just sort of put off because gathering everything by category seems really time-consuming and daunting, then this might be a better place for you to start. It is less of a time commitment, and it begins really slowly and easily, and it ramps up in terms of difficulty over time. So if decluttering is something that you haven't begun, you keep putting it off, then this may be the perfect place for you to start. Another thing I really appreciate about this method is how rigorous it is. Unlike with the KonMari method, you can't just sort of stand back and say, this category looks good, I'm done paring down. You have to get rid of how many items there are for that day. And that really forced me to prioritize everything in my house and find those hidden troves of junk that I've put off dealing with for so long. When you're forced to get rid of a certain number of items in that day, your mind will seek out all those stores of crap that you've put off dealing with, because I would rather get rid of those things that I know I don't need than get rid of things that I actually like and live with all the time. Another thing I really like about this challenge is that it makes it easier to get rid of all of those little things that accumulate over time and that are easy to ignore. So before I did this myself, I watched a few YouTube videos of other people playing the 30-day minimalism game, and I remember seeing people get rid of things like pens, and I thought, pens, that's dumb. You should get rid of something bigger and more meaningful. But after having done this myself, I totally understand. It makes you prioritize everything that you have, and it makes it easier to realize, no, I don't actually need 30 pens or however many of those little things. And I do think getting rid of those little things is an accomplishment, because those are things that are really sticky and difficult to get rid of sometimes. Those are things that stick around for no good reason, and this game really wipes them out. The next thing I want to mention is kind of a no-brainer, but it's to stick to the schedule. So if you fall behind early on, it's really easy to catch up. If you fall behind later in the challenge, it can be more difficult to recover then. If you get really excited and you want to run ahead, I don't really see any harm there, as long as you actually follow through and get rid of 30 days worth of items. Now, because I was filming this, I tried to stay on track, but my mind sort of ran ahead, and I actually kept a list on my phone of things that I could get rid of as I thought of them. And I made it through all 31 days that I did, and I haven't even gotten to all of the items that were on my list. And so unless you're already a very successful minimalist, you will have more than enough possessions to make it through this challenge. Finally, as with any decluttering method, there can be some stressful moments, but in my experience, I've never once regretted a decluttering decision ever. So if you've put off decluttering because you think like, oh, I might potentially regret getting rid of this thing, just let go of that fear. In my experience, that just doesn't happen ever. And this method, again, is really good at helping you prioritize everything you have. And so I feel like you're even less likely to encounter a difficult decision using this method. But if you have that pang of like, oh, will I need this thing later? The answer is no. The answer is never yes. All right, that's it for me today, and apologies, I'm sure this is a really long video, but I hope it encourages some of you to give the minimalism game a try. I'm really glad I did it. I can't recommend it enough. Again, you can now follow me on Instagram. I will leave it linked in the description down below, and I will try to post outfits there when I can. As always, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.